Good morning and happy Tuesday. For this week's reflection, I got inspiration from the Book of Amos, which is where we get our first reading for most of the daily readings this week. And the Book of Amos has a message of condemning hypocrisy and injustices happening in Israel at the time. God made a covenant with his people Israel, especially, but that relationship is a two-way street. If you're simply going through the motions of religion while still perpetuating the idolatry and injustices as Israel was doing in that time, that does not appease God. I feel like this message can be easily translated to our modern day lives of this sort of seeking an exemption from the typical rule. My special situation is not applied to the rule in this certain circumstance. And this can be typically in the little things, but sometimes in the big things as well, where we say that we are exempt, uniquely exempt from this situation. God doesn't want us to think that sitting in a pew on Sunday or providing charity or being a generally nice person is an excuse to do whatever we want for the rest of the week and he'll just turn a blind eye. One example in my life where this came up was a few years ago in college, where I was part of the leadership in the Newman Catholic Center, which is college campus ministry. And I was at one of our weekly events, hanging out in a behind-the-scenes space that we typically use to prep and get stuff ready to take out to the event. And I was more there because I could be than I had any reason to be. It was not an event I was helping run or lead, and I just wanted to be there. And someone had set out the desserts for the event already, and I was thinking, well, I'm feeling a bit tired. I'm not necessarily at this event, and so I was considering taking off early. I could just grab mine now, leave early, head home, get some extra sleep, and there's no real harm in doing so. And so I did. And a little bit later, one of the other leaders came in and upbraided me for this, saying that I should know better. And at first I got upset. I didn't really do anything wrong, and it's not like I took someone else's. But upon later reflection, I did realize that I deserved that. I needed to hold myself up to the same standard as everyone else, even for something as simple as waiting to eat dessert. And my position as a volunteer leader did not make me allowed to make exceptions. Amos's message and critique certainly requires us to take a hard look at our own lives and see where we're trying to become exceptions to the rule. But his book does end with a hopeful note, and I want to end my reflection with a hopeful note as well. God is love. This message isn't one of merciless condemnation, of justice without mercy, but rather one that is calling us to be the best versions of ourselves, to be perfect as our Heavenly Father is perfect. So while it's important to not think that doing good in one area of our lives allows us to be lax in another area, it is even more important to always be ready to throw ourselves on the mercy of God and to pray that He will give us the strength to do His will.